Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Gruesome details surface against a man accused of having sex with 2 young children. Police caught up with him last night at his Fargo apartment, and he was in court this afternoon, where bond was set at $200,000. 22-year-old Wyatt Scott Cookert was arrested on 6 counts of gross sexual imposition. Authorities say he admitted to having sexual contact with the 2 females. Court documents say Fargo PD was tipped off by police in Brookings, South Dakota, about a video involving Cookert and the alleged victims. Based on the video, police questioned Cookert, and he recalled what happened then and admitted to prior incidents. Police say there were no immediate signs of physical injury to the 2 girls, that they are currently safe with family and will receive follow-up care from the Child Advocacy Center. In court today, Cookert asked the judge to lower his bond, but the judge did not, citing what he says was, quote, horrific conduct. Cookert is due back in court on July 24th. Tonight on Valley News Live at 10, we'll talk with experts on how you can help children in these cases and what the future looks like for someone dealing with this. It looks fairly calm out there right now through our Skycam in Fargo-Moorhead, but we are bracing for severe weather to hit this area. It's already coming down in other parts of North Dakota and packing quite a wallop. Let's get the latest from meteorologist Justin Fanfarelli in your No Wait weather. Justin?
And thank you, Andrea. Good evening, everybody. Most of us seeing mostly cloudy skies. There are a line of some thunderstorms, just some general thunderstorms now, just off to the south and to the west of the Jamestown area. As of right now, they could be producing a lot of lightning, heavy rain, and maybe some gusty winds, but we're not seeing any real severe weather threats. There is no hail threat as of right now. We'll be watching these. The best chance of seeing some severe weather, if it does develop, is between, say, Jamestown and the South Dakota border and just off to the west of the Oaks area. Other than that, it looks like the severe weather threat, the good news for tonight, is waning as we go through each passing hour. Temperatures ranging from the mid-60s out toward Jamestown and Devil's Lake to the lower 70s into Lakes Country. That band of showers and thunderstorms will make its way into the Red River Valley. It probably will not be severe when it does get here, but into the late evening, early overnight, on and off rain and possibly some lightning and thunder chances. Temperatures falling back into the mid-60s. There's still a chance of some showers and thunderstorms for the day tomorrow, but drying out as we go through the rest of the weekend and into the start of next week. A very nice warm-up. We'll have the details coming up later in the newscast.
All right. Thanks, Justin. And make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so that you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so that you can plan your day. All you have to do is search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free. It's time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say 47-year-old Sean Derek Zander is wanted for a probation violation for drug paraphernalia, unauthorized use of an ID, and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. You can call your local law enforcement if you have any information on him. Breakfast was cut short for people at Huddle House this morning as the restaurant was evacuated due to a grease fire. Crews were able to put out the fire quickly, but the restaurant will remain closed until the smoke clears out. No one was hurt during the incident. The fire happened around 8:30 this morning. Huddle House is connected to the Flying J gas station on 39th Street South. Authorities say a 31-year-old Candu, North Dakota woman who was reported missing around midnight was found dead in a submerged vehicle in rural Towner County. Sheriff Robert Kennedy says the woman's vehicle was found in a coulee roughly 11 miles west of Candu, just off of 56th Avenue Northeast. The victim's name will be released after family members are notified. Authorities say 2 people are dead after 2 semis collided near Polk County Road 41. Minnesota State Patrol says they will release the identities of the 2 drivers once family members have been identified. Or notified, rather. President Trump says he was ready to retaliate against Iran last night, but canceled the strike because civilians would be killed. Iran, meanwhile, says it decided not to attack a U.S. spy plane. We get the latest now on this escalating conflict from NBC's Jennifer Johnson in Washington.
Some tense moments at the White House Thursday night as President Trump almost launches an attack against Iran for downing a U.S. drone. The president tweeting, "We were cocked and loaded to retaliate," but says in an exclusive interview with Meet the Press, he then learned 150 civilians could die.
And I said, you know what? They shot down an unmanned drone, plane, whatever you want to call it. And here we are sitting with 150 dead people that would have taken place probably within a half an hour after I said go ahead. Yeah. And I didn't like it. I didn't think it was proportionate.
But a member of the president's own party questions his decision.
I think he shouldn't have called it off. There's a benefit to saying there's going to be a response that costs you what it cost us.
Iran firing back, saying it repeatedly sent warnings before downing the drone and didn't attack a U.S. spy plane with 35 crew aboard near the drone. More evidence of how close the two sides are coming to a military conflict.
I think this is a moment for a strong, steady hand and a clear strategy, and frankly, we don't have that right now.
But a frequent critic of the president praises his decision.
I give him credit for being almost the adult in the room because of the war hawks like John Bolton and Mike Pompeo, who are pushing toward this confrontation.
A strike of that amount of collateral damage would be very provocative, and I'm glad the president did not take that.
Tensions now so high, the FAA is barring U.S. aircraft from flying over parts of the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, and several major world airlines have also begun rerouting their flights. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
In a tweet today, President Trump said, quote, sanctions are biting and more added last night. But he did not give details about the nature of those additional sanctions against Iran. The entire exclusive conversation with President Trump will air this Sunday, June 23rd on Meet the Press with Chuck Todd. Lawmakers across the country are addressing the rising costs of prescription drugs, especially insulin. People joined with Minnesota Senator Tina Smith today to talk about the issue. According to a nonprofit health group, the cost of insulin used to treat diabetes has nearly doubled in the past 7 years. Many are calling for laws to hold drug makers accountable, including Nicole Smith Holt. Her son, Alec, died after he rationed his supply of insulin because he couldn't afford it.
That ultimately, the only true fix is to allow our government to place caps on prices and to regulate the currently unregulated pharmaceutical companies. But until that larger piece of legislation can be implemented, there needs to be a safety net solution in place.
The Minnesota legislature did in fact talk about such a bill. It would have provided a free emergency supply of insulin for people in need. But the safety net legislation was cut from the final budget bill. An Illinois judge today ordered a special prosecutor to examine the handling of the Jussie Smollett case. The Cook County judge has appointed a special prosecutor to investigate the decision by prosecutors to dismiss all charges against Smollett. The actor was accused of lying to police by claiming he was the victim of a racist and homophobic attack in downtown Chicago in January. The judge wants to know if the county's state's attorney, Kim Fox, mishandled the Smollett case by appointing a top aide to oversee it after she recused herself instead of appointing a special prosecutor. North Dakota school districts have not moved on nicotine testing yet, but the state school board association says districts might look to it if vaping continues to increase. The association says districts have asked about how e-cigarettes would fit into existing policies and whether they would need to create a new one. A district in Nebraska says students in extracurricular activities will need to submit to random drug testing, and they do that in order to curb vaping.
If school districts continue to see issues with e-cigarettes and vaping amongst its student body, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point down the road we'll see some districts in North Dakota that add that to their policies.
DeCook says districts are hesitant because drug testing policies affects the relationship between the school and the community. They're